What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Business Breakthrough. In today's Business Breakthrough, I sit down with Amanda Parker of Cecil and Parker Painting in Little Rock, Arkansas. And the big topic was letting go of the authority on the job, letting go of the responsibility and handing that over to a fully capable individual, creating an incubator of leadership in her business. And this is what really propels growth. It allows room for growth, not only in the individuals working for her, but her and her business. So this was an exciting one. One of my most passionate topics is leadership and empowering others to take charge. And that's what'll free you. So listen to this business breakthrough. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. I'm here with Amanda Parker of Cecil and Parker Painting, and she is out of Little Rock, Arkansas, and we're just chatting. She has a big BNI banner behind her, so she's already familiar with, Giver's Gain and all the wonderful qualities that BNI comes with, which I'm a big fan of. So let's kind of chat a little bit about really what your business looks like and what your day-to-day is. That's really what's most important right now. So Amanda wakes up during the day. It's Monday morning. What's going on?
Well, so I get up about 6 o'clock in the morning and try to have a little me time, let the mini horses out so they can run amok. I've got two Great Danes. I wish I had my logo up. One of them is actually in my logo. I get online and I do things for BNI. I'm the secretary treasurer for my chapter. And then I do things for my website, try to set up emails, reach out to clients, make sure I'm trying to stay in contact. I get the kid up for virtual school. I've got a teenager, so that's fun. And then I go. I either hit the paint store or, the post office. There's like 6 errands to run before I actually make it on the job site and, get there and confab with the crew. I'm a women-owned and operated paint company. I've got 2 other women that work with me. And it's kind of our, our bread and butter. It's our focus. We confab, we talk about what the day is, and then we get to work.
Love it. So I hope that you're using the women owned and operated as a marketing strategy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting because when I first started, my name it's Cecil and Parker Painting. And when I first started, I really had that out there because I didn't think anybody would hire a woman painter. And it's been
if they're smart, they would.
It's been the exact opposite. People love it.
Yeah. If they're smart, they would. My wife, I make the mistake of actually painting in my house, and my wife will actually point out things that I can't even see. So there's something about women, they just have greater detail. I think that's well known. So if you're smart as a customer, you should lean toward the women. That's just how it is. So you got 2 people working for you currently. What is your goal? I mean, do you want to, are you looking to expand? Are you looking to be even busier than you are now? And do you actually work on the jobs?
Absolutely. So I currently, yes, I'm on site every day except for Thursdays. Usually Thursday is my day for BNI, walkthroughs, appointments, one-to-ones, things like that. And a little me time, right?
Nothing wrong with that. Fruits it. Yep. He's like, you got to play with me, Mom. That was the dog barking in the background.
It was. I apologize. I try to have my background kind of set up. I absolutely want to expand. I love what I do. One thing, we offer something that a lot of paint contractors around here don't offer, and that's the relationship with the client. We don't want to just paint your house every 2 years. We want to have that conversation with you about the right products, color theory, what your space is being used for. And we really want to help kind of restore faith in the trades. There's some fear about tradespeople here in Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't know about anywhere else, but
everywhere in the actual world.
I kind of figured. And I have a
Yeah.
goal of in 2 years not picking up a paintbrush.
Okay.
Nobody existing on the crew picking up a paintbrush. I want to get.
How did you get into this business? Did you work for a painting company?
No. So I think it's in my blood. Honestly,
Okay.
my mother met my father while she was working in a paint store. He was a painter.
Okay.
My
Wow.
brother was a fine arts major. He loved painting. I was more of a performing arts person, and I spent over a decade in the nonprofit sector. And I got out of that because of just disillusionment with this sector, and faith in honestly in humanity was kind of waning at that point. And I thought, okay, I'll just go back to school. I'll go to the Clinton school. I'll be fancy and do all that. And I had a girlfriend who just by chance mentioned that her husband was starting a contracting business and was looking for a painter, and I needed a job. So it was just, I'll go do this, and fell in love with it. And within 3 months of working with him, I incorporated and basically went out on my own, and I've been on my own ever since. And it still blows my mind every day that I get to what I do.
Well, listening to you and seeing you seem super happy about what you've accomplished. You seem super happy about your business, your brand. That enthusiasm resonates. There's this tipping point that occurs, however, when you transition from being in there, relaxing, only one crew to worry about, taking off on Thursday. And then for you to tell me 2 years from now, you want to be out of the brush, that worries me. That is my biggest concern, because you could be out of the brush tomorrow if you really wanted to. So there's something stopping you. And that's the stuff that I'm interested in. So what's stopping you from actually not going on the job? Now, I'm going to list out a couple options to try to narrow this down, because I understand the dynamic here. Number one, you love that client interaction. You want to be around the client. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you love to paint. You love to be near and around the paint. And she's nodding her head, by the way, you're listening to this. Number three, now let's get to the not so exciting things. You're not so certain that the two team members that you have can run the job as well as you can. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, a little bit. That's okay.
Nobody
Be honest.
can do it as good as me.
Nobody, of course not. Not even me in your business. You can't do it as good as me in my business. I can't do it as good as you in your business. Your business. So that's okay. And I would think number four is you having an entrepreneurial spirit that comes with the need, not want, not desire, need to be in charge, because this is your livelihood, and you understand that if something goes wrong, it's on your shoulders. Okay.
Absolutely. I'd say all of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
So until we narrow down those things, which we just did, we can now grow, because all of those things can be fixed, and they can be, I would say, maintained in a way that you still get the satisfaction out of being around and near the customer. You still get the satisfaction of being on the job, but also you have confidence in your team. That's number three, to do the job the way that you want it done, which automatically gives you the certainty in number four, which would mean that you don't have to worry about if things aren't going to go wrong, because number three is taking care of number four. So they go hand in hand. All right. So let's talk about the team members. Two team members here. If you had to rate their skill sets, I'm going to call team member A, which is the person that you put in charge on Thursdays, which is somebody who's in charge today, who you've texted 15 times already.
Was texting when we got on. Absolutely.
Hey, did you do this? Hey, I get it.
Can you go over here and do this?
Don't forget. I know it. I've been there. Yeah. So you got number A, or letter A. You got letter B. So tell me the skill level 1 to 10. 10 being she can spray. She can do everything that a professional painting contractor is expected to do. 1 to 10, and then tell me B, what her skill set 1 to 10 is. 1 being you pick up trash and you eat lunch.
So worker A, who's on the site today, I would put her at a 9. She's learning to spray. She's had a little bit of experience with it, with me training her, and I'm getting more and more confident with her spraying. Worker B, she's a 10. She's got oodles of experience. I love it. And she's 6'3", which makes things amazingly more
So you
simple.
don't need 4-foot ladders on the job.
Well, for the other one, we've got this great little stair step going on, and
Gotcha.
I'm the one that gets to, contort into all the fun little crevices, and
Yep.
me and B get to go up the scaffolding. So
Gotcha.
that's the fun.
Gotcha. So you have really good painters, and I assume that you're just as good, if not better. So what's stopping you from putting painter B in charge?
Um, I think she needs
They're
a little
probably
bit more.
not going to listen to this podcast, so you could be transparent.
So I think she needs both of them, but especially B needs to slow down with the prep work.
Okay.
There's a finesse to it. You've really got to take your time with it. When we're covering an entire floor, with where a vaulted ceiling and the attached kitchen and the attached dining room are, you have to be very intentional about how you're covering that floor.
Right.
And you also have to be able to pay attention to,
So
when
they
we're in
have
the
what's called the painter's itch. You know what that is? They want to get the paint and start painting.
They really, really do, and I love that about them. I really do. But I am prep work makes the
Yep.
dream work.
Prep
Like,
work makes the dream work. So
yeah,
for you on the job, prep work is the most important thing, right?
yes.
Okay. How many jobs do you do a week?
I mean, we are on big jobs at a time, and because
Okay.
of where we're at, it's usually one job at a time. There may be a little bit of overflow of maybe some cabinets from one, or some touch up over here, or if there's an exterior,
Are
Arkansas is
you
very
going to do the
sunny.
touch ups?
I like to be there with the touch ups,
Yeah, so
just
they
because
can keep working on the job.
right,
Right.
right, and it's that nobody sees the things that I see, especially when they've been staring at it for 8 hours plus, 5 days a week. I can come in there, and I don't know, there's just things that I see that nobody else sees. And the
Right.
same thing, it's part of how we work. When we do the prep work, each other crew member is responsible for coming through after someone says they're done with whatever step they're on.
And just double checking. Right.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, you're on a job this week. Is it cabinets?
No, not yet. It's prep.
Okay.
It's literally
Okay.
prep right
So
now.
you've done prepping from Monday through today.
We've done prep work from Tuesday to today. Monday
Okay.
we were in Benton. We
Doing
have
an overflow.
we have a large job that's been pushed back over the past few months due to COVID, the effects on lumber cost, snowmageddon that
Okay.
hit the
So are
process.
you only doing residential painting? You're not taking on any other jobs?
For the most part, I mean, I do commercial work, but the commercial work, we've seemed to have a niche with treatment centers, residential treatment centers, whether it is for children that are having behavior issues and need a residential facility, or actual drug and alcohol addiction. So that's really kind of what we've done in the commercial sector. We've got one that's waiting, to get put in. It's a bunch of exterior stuff, and there's just been some hangups because it's a nonprofit
Okay.
organization and funding and whatnot.
All right.
So
I'm feeling all this out, and my last question to you before I kind of try to turn the table a little bit. What if you had to outline one area in your business? We might have already talked about it. I know growth was one of them. What is the purpose for you reaching out to me? What is that one thing that you were hoping to get a different perspective on, or an area that you wanted to strengthen?
I wanted some clarity from an individual whose focus is painting companies. I have
Right.
an amazing business coach who is helping
Uh-huh.
me with streamlining my time, schedules,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. The other stuff that overwhelms me, that's falling off because I'm running a business. But I wanted to get your perspective,
Okay.
someone that understands paint companies.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, let me start with my perspective from what I'm gauging here, okay? And I'm just going to give you a general overview, and then I'm going to dive deep. So the first thing is you have two really good employees, which you should be treating them like they are the next thing to your child, in terms of how much you care about them, because they're very hard to come across. You know this very well. I'm sure you treat them and pay them very well. That's number one. I think that they both at that level of paint skill are leaders within your own organization. The only one in the entire world that can pull that out of them is you, and your focus and what you instill into them, the belief of, hey, you're going to be running a job soon, B lady, okay, who has 10 level skill, which you should be excited about when she gets there. These are some things that you need to do in order for me to confidently staff individuals underneath you. Okay. And I think that the more conversations you have about that, that issue with prep work is going to fizzle out, because ultimately we all want to hit the next level. We all want a little more money. We want a little more responsibility. We want a little more growth. Okay. Growth happens when you invest in people. And if you have somebody who you consider a B, chances are that person's never been a manager of anything. Okay. So you have a unique opportunity to be the first person to give that person the green light, and it's definitely a compliment. You can really make it a thing. You could have a sit down outside the job, or I've taken people to lunch and I said, hey, this is my plan for you. I want you to know something. Here's some areas that I think are stopping me, stopping me from giving you the green light to run a job. You're excellent at painting. I don't need to teach you how to paint. But you have to understand, we are not just expected to paint. We are expected to perform a service that doesn't just include painting. We shouldn't really be called painting contractors. We're actually prepping and painting contractors.
Absolutely.
Who also clean up, and sometimes we mow the lawn if needed. We do a lot.
We do a lot. Well, you have those, and you have these conversations with people. I mean, you end up really, I don't know, sometimes being therapists for people. I mean, we've built some amazing, long-lasting relationships with people.
You're in their home. It's very rare that they not only have people that come over to do a service, but connect with them while they're there in their most intimate space. So I think that what we should focus on is, you need to channel. And this is how I see myself, and hopefully I can transition this thought process to you. You are a creator of leaders. That is the best type of business owner to be. You are a leader. Your company is an incubator for leaders in their own capacity, whether they are crew members or project managers, or if they are just entry-level painters or apprentices. You are creating them to be leaders in their own capacity. When they are working on a task, just because they don't have authority doesn't mean they can't be a leader. That's something a lot of people misunderstand. Authority doesn't equate to leadership. You see, leadership is character. That's what leadership is. It's having the integrity to do what's right, even when someone's not watching. Okay. So and I don't need to discuss with you how to be a leader, just by your demeanor and how you operate, your enthusiasm. Obviously you do all those things, right? That's being instilled currently in letter A. Okay. Okay. So clearly she gets the idea. Okay, because you put her in charge, and you're actually in a good mood today on Thursday, knowing that your job is being done properly. You're experiencing the taste of a system, and it's something that you can experience every single day of your life if you grasp what I'm teaching you. Which, my point is this: you have two of those. 90% of the people that I interact with only have one.
Yeah.
And you two. Okay, so my thing is, am I heading in the right direction with some of this information? Am I going the right way?
I'm sorry, the dog was barking.
No, that's okay. Am I heading in the right direction with some of this information?
Yeah. And I do want to say, like, we have a very amazing crew. We do stuff outside of the job site. We talk collectively about our individual and collective goals, and I want so much for them to be those leaders. I know that they have it in them, and I'd like to help instill that confidence in them, to trust themselves in their performance.
So how do we trust people to operate within a certain parameter and produce a consistent result? That is the goal here, because ultimately people are people just like you and I. We need schedules, we need boundaries, we need things to keep us in alignment, or we get lazy. Okay, that's just natural human behavior. So you've got to create a system. And if you're telling me that you have to be on the job during a prep phase, to me, it just means that there's no system in place to ensure that no paint is being pulled out of a can before you've checked prep work. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. How can that be done? Well, we have these cool things, phones. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have unique apps that allow us to create checklists, put up pictures. Trello is a great app for this. Are you familiar with Trello?
No.
I'll send you a text message later and I'll make sure
Okay.
that you know about Trello.
Thank
So
you.
essentially what you could do is you can create a job card, okay? Put a couple pictures of the job and they would be able to access Trello. And you could create a checklist that says, okay, for this job, we need to protect the countertops. I'm going to give you a cabinet coating example. Are the countertops masked in plastic? Are all the boxes masked in plastic? Have all the boxes been sanded? And as they do it, they check it off all the way. Okay, let me know when you're ready 1 hour before you finish your prep work. They shouldn't have paint on the job. They don't, if you don't put the candy next to the kid. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so what you're doing is you're probably ordering the paint while they're prepping. So they're looking at it like, ooh, I can't wait to paint. Right? Is that happening?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to solve that problem, don't give them the option. Don't bring paint there. I've done that many times. I know my guys sometimes. I don't, oh, where's the paint? It's not ready yet. Let me know when you're done prepping.
Right.
Because I know there's a
Right.
lot of prep here. You shouldn't be needing paint today.
Seriously.
Okay. So that's
Why
something
don't I get a call?
that's something that you can do as a hedge, okay, to make sure that you are keeping everyone in line and honest, okay? So that checklist gives you a system. That's a system. So get the girls familiar with, okay, I need to submit a picture of the final prep work, okay? And then you're on your way with the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And you saved your whole morning up until that time. But before this conversation, I could be wrong. I'm just kind of moving fast, but you'd be on site prepping with them. And you don't need to be because they're not learning when you're there. They're
Yeah.
not you're not allowing them to be authoritative because every time that you step on the job, your A girl, the girl who you put in charge, no longer has that authority and starts to think that she's incapable. So you need to empower leadership by giving responsibility and then holding responsibility accountable. That is how leaders are grown. That's how it's just like your child.
Right.
Okay. You did everything for them. It's the same thing, you know, because I've been there and I've made the mistake of not giving someone the authority. And then what that occurred is they wouldn't make decisions on their own. So I was actually working double time. They were afraid to make mistakes. Can't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's very true on my sites. They're very afraid of making mistakes.
Not because they're scared of you, but because they're scared of you. Nah, no, and so let me ask you this. Out of this week, let's look at it from Monday through Friday. If I talked to you last week, would you have had to step on the job? If you put this system in place and all they were doing was prepping, would you have had to step on the job this week? Or did you do it not step on the job because you want to see the customer, step on the job because you had to work?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, this week was just weird because
Let's say if it were a normal week and you took out that Monday, normal week.
Yeah, a normal week, probably not. Probably not.
Because here's where I'm getting at. Your time, the business owner, is the most important aspect. It needs to be protected at all costs, your time. Because if you're busy ripping tape and ripping plastic and painting, you're not selling, you're not marketing, and you're not hiring, which are growth factors in a business.
Right.
That make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those three things, if you at this point, and right now you're learning, which is a growth aspect. So you're using great use of your time when it comes to the business. So right now, your reality that you have at this moment is what you should be experiencing every day. If this is your scenario, you have two great employees. If you want to scratch that itch of meeting with the homeowner, go and just highlight your employees when you're there. Aren't they doing a great job?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If her name is, let's say the A lady is like Joanne, isn't Joanne amazing? She's going to take great care of you. You need to start pushing that praise on them. Push the praise on her. Okay. So with that being said, going in that direction is going to allow you to free yourself so you can break off, look at the big picture, and then create a team for both of them, which could be two more people, one under each.
I'd love that.
You know, and that's the goal, but it's all about creating the leadership. Now, the last part of my spiel here, and then I'd love to kind of get some feedback from you. My last part. your job types. Your job types are going to make or break you. From what you told me, you are not a specialist of anything. You're taking on too many jobs. You have cabinets, you're taking interior repaints, you're taking commercial jobs, you're taking office buildings. I love that you have a passion, or it could just be a niche, but it sounded like a passion. You're helping underprivileged children paint these places. Let me tell you something. That's amazing. But you got to make sure that your system is systemized. Then you break off and do things like that. Don't put the seatbelt on of the person next to you without yourself. Because every time that you guys have this project, like you told me, this lingering project that's happening, that's been going on for months, every day you wake up, that's like this big cloud over your head. Okay.
It has been such a source of stress. And it's just, I mean, it's stuff that's entirely out of our control, and some of it really even out of the contractor's control. So it's just this,
well,
you know,
the biggest problem is you're working for a contractor.
I hate it.
He's probably he's probably in your BNI, isn't he?
No, she's not. And I love her to death. I just don't think that, I told the crew, I was like, if I ever say we're going to work with a contractor again, smack me.
Well, it's a good lesson to learn, and you might have to go through the pain of that experience to recognize you have got to put your company in a little box. It's a box. This is what we do. This is who we serve. And when I say this is what we do, 1 to 2 job types at the most. And just so you know, when a painting company tells me, oh, we paint, a cabinet coating company can be just a cabinet coating company with a shop that sprays the doors the way that it should be done. Okay. With processes for wrapping the doors and transporting them, having people prep the doors, having a team to go in and spray. Okay. But if you're if you're not doing that consistently, okay, think about the pressure that's happening for your girls right now. They have to go from commercial jobs, then to high-end cabinet coating that needs expert level prep, then to interior repaints where you just throw a drop on the ground and get started. You see how the inconsistency creates like confusion? So you also have to have this temperature gauge. And that temperature gauge means, how do my girls feel right now about how much work I'm putting on them? Not only do they have to do the work, they have to learn again how to do the work, and they're not building consistent habits. And I'm here getting upset with them because they're not prepping the way that they should, but they haven't prepped like this in 2 weeks.
Yep. Okay? That makes so much sense.
Yeah. And you're causing that because you have created an inconsistent system. If I had owned a Starbucks and bought the Starbucks and everyone's used to making coffees and lattes and that's all they do, and I say, hey guys, it's my Starbucks now, we're actually going to make steaks. So I need somebody to put a stove over there, and I need somebody to run to the store and get a filet mignon. So what would happen is somebody would actually buy the steak. Of course, if you have that many people coming through, somebody's going to buy a steak from Starbucks. Okay. Guess what? All right. You want a steak? No problem. Anybody know how to cook a steak? So it's like this one thing, it stops your flow. And the customers that come to you for coffee, what do? They leave because you can't serve them. So the customers that would come to you who 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that want the girls to come, they're going to pay top dollar for you. You've won them over. They're excited to work for you. They can't wait. They love your personality. They love what you're about. They love what you represent. You can't get to them because you're busy working for a contractor for a month, and you're doing a cabinet job that's going to take you 4 weeks, and they need it done in 3 weeks because you didn't stick to your niche. Okay. So that's my spiel.
Makes perfect sense.
Good.
Because there's always some sort of anxiety, and they hate cabinets. I personally love it. I like, hands on it, looking at, I mean, too. See, and I love wallpaper removal, like there's just, I'm kind of a weirdo.
But you have to take your emotion out of the business, because when you do that, you have an emotion toward that thing. You're artsy. You like detail. You like those things. Take your emotion out of it, because what you need to do is create a system. Then once you have a system, you can find people who genuinely like doing cabinets, and then you can have them do cabinets. But you got to create some sort of consistent system. I think it should be interior repaints. That's it. You should be saying no to wallpaper. You should, and you're probably like, there's no way I'd say no to wallpaper. Okay. Just trust me. You stick to what you're good at. Next time someone asks you for wallpaper, say, hey, you have to hire a handyman to remove that for you, and then we'll come in and paint when it's gone. Okay.
Oh, that's so hard.
Well, you came to the breakthrough day. I mean, I
You're
can't tell
right.
you what you want to hear. As much as
You're
I'd
right.
love to, you're creating a consistent system. The girls will be happier, and it's going to be easier to create a manager with a system that has bumpers. Okay. If she's got to think about how to remove wallpaper, that's going to take away from her making sure that she's applying paint properly on walls, trim, doors, and ceilings.
Right.
Okay. That's a variable that you can't really expect a team of 2 to be excellent at. If you had 4 on the job, all right, one person you deal with the wallpaper for the whole day, everyone else the system's working. But not with 2 people. One person's on the wallpaper, and then guess what? Your one person is having to paint a whole house by themselves because that wallpaper's not coming off. She's getting frustrated, and then they call you and say, "Hey, we're behind." You're like, "How are you behind?" And then you go there and do the job, and then guess what? You're working the whole day.
Right.
Because you wanted wallpaper for $600.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
I get it.
It's
I
hard to
hear
say
you.
no, but you have positioned yourself as a company it's okay to say no now. You're not a new company anymore. You don't need 2 years to get out of the brush. You need a shift in mindset. You can get out of the brush today if you really wanted to. You don't need to be there anymore. You don't, and you shouldn't be. 2 years from now, if you're just getting out of the brush, something went wrong because no one's growing. Your girls aren't growing, and your business is certainly not growing.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know?
I really thought you were going to tell me 2 years was too soon. I don't know. I'm so grateful to
Yeah.
be on this call with you today
Thank you.
because
Yeah.
that you completely changed my perspective on a number of things.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. Well, I've been through it, and I need to empower you to create leaders. You're an incubator of leaders. That is your business model, and
I
you
love
can't.
that.
Yeah, use that as your motto because you have 2 great people, and that's rare. Usually, I spend my time helping people acquire the great people, and if they had the great people, we would be able to move. But you already have them.
I
Okay,
do.
and great leaders, it's so funny. I'm going to give you a quick example here, and then I guess we'll taper off the call. But I had a friend, and he had a painting business, and he had, little did he know, 10 or more leaders within that painting business that never got to blossom into leaders. What did they do? Half of them started their own business. The other half went with someone else who started their own business that actually empowered their leadership. And that
Mm-hmm.
other person was able to grow his business from 0 to 1.5 million in a year because he left the company along with the other guys, and he allowed a place for people to think independently and make mistakes.
Right.
Whereas the individual that I'm referring to didn't allow that to happen and created a fear environment. Okay. Some people are going to be okay with that and they'll stay. But the best people want to be challenged and they want
Mm-hmm.
authority, and give
Mm-hmm.
it to them.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Like as soon as you said fear environment, like it just hit me. Like I feel like that's kind of what we got going on. Everybody's worried. It seems like there's anxiety every single day.
And your customers are feeling that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. So what I would suggest, action step here,
Okay.
don't go to this job. Say, you know what? And make it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Call her and say, listen, I'm going to trust you with this one. All right. You got this. Watch the reaction you get. You're going to be like, whoa, I should have done that a lot sooner. And guess how good this job is going to be. It's going to be good. And then you say, hey, I'm going to come check it at the end of the day tomorrow. All right. And I'll bring you guys some lunch or something, or I'm going to come at lunchtime tomorrow and bring some lunch, and just like start that culture and then start bringing more girls in there and empower these women to paint. I love that. Keep it going.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
Cool. It was nice chatting with you.
You as well. I
All right,
appreciate you taking the time.
Maybe we'll do it again. You can come on anytime.
All
right. He can join too. The Great Dane in the background.
Yeah.
He always barks at the perfect time. I mean, every time I make a point.
That's actually my female. And
oh, she does.
She absolutely does. Well, it's also trash day and recycle day. And I live downtown Little Rock, so there's a lot of foot traffic.
A lot of commotion.
Yeah. And, she'll a shadow or a bird. So, it's perfect timing. It reminds us all that we have zero control over anything and just to go with
So go with the flow. Well, was this helpful for you today?
Absolutely. I appreciate you
All
so
right,
much.
cool. Yes, thank you. We'll catch up. Are you in my Facebook group?
I don't think so.
I'm going to
I
send you a
found you on
link.
Instagram. Okay.
It's a painting contractors Facebook group. It's an awesome group. We have like 5,000 members in there, and it's a great place to ask questions and collaborate. And I think it'll even help you even more.
I appreciate that.
Take care.
You too.
All right, bye. Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com. And we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.